Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, fifth group here. Today we are going to present about discourse and conversation. Our group's members are Nabila Tasha and Dorayanti. The first materials will be presented by Nabila Tasha. A major area of study in the analysis of discourse is conversation analysis. Conversation analysis is an approach to the analysis of the spoken discourse that looks at the way in which how people manage their everyday conversation interaction. It examines how spoken discourse is organized and developed as speakers carry out this interaction. Conversation analysis has examined aspects of the spoken discourse, such as sequence of related utterance, preference for particular combination of utterance, turn-taking, feedback, report, conversational opens and closings, discourse makers and response takers. Next, background to conversation analysis. So, conversation analysis originated in the early 1960s at the University of California, Los Angeles. Sachs and his colleagues said that conversation analysis is an approach to the study of the social action which sought to investigate social orders as a way produced through the practice of everyday talk. The key issue of conversation analysis. First, the view of ordinary conversation as the basis form of talk. For conversation analysis, conversation is the main way in which people come together, exchange information, and negotiate. A further key features of the conversation analysis is the primacy of the data as the source of the information. So, analysis do not incorporate speakers' reflection on their interaction, field notes, or interviews as ways of gathering information about the discourse. The aims of conversation analysis is, first, to avoid starting with assumption about analytical categories. So, conversation analysis rather look for the phenomena which regularly occur in the data and then make the point of further investigation. The second, to demonstrate how participants both produce and respond. So in this case, participants both produce and respond to the evolving social context using conversational rather than conceptual data as the source for the claimant wishes to make. Next, transcribing and coding conversation analysis data. So in conversation analysis, the transcription of the data is also the analysis. In this way, texts are recorded either on tape or by the video, then analyzed features such as the use of increased pitch or particular sequence of utterance becomes appear in the analysis. This then becomes the starting point for further analysis. Next, the analyst listens and transcribes to see how frequently the aspects of the conversation occurs. Therefore, the analysis aims to understand how speakers manage their conversation interaction. Okay. Transcription convention. In linguistic sense, transcription refers to the systematic representations of language in the written form. So the source can either be utterance or speech or pre-existing text in another written system. In the academic disciplines of linguistics, transcription is an essential part of the methodologies of phonetics, conversation analysis, and social linguistics. Okay, here the extract from the text and the city transcribed from the conversation analysis perspective that based on the work of the Jefferson 2004 and around as the key to analysis. There is a conversation. Charlotte said, "You're getting engaged." So there is a symbol. The analysis is that it refers to the shift into specifically a high pitch. Then Kelly said, "I threw up. I threw up. I saw the ring and I threw up. That's not normal." There is the there is a symbol that Carrie said. It refers to there is no delay between the Charlotte's statement and Carrie's response. There is, however, a 0.5 second pause in Carrie's response before she adds, "That's not normal." Okay, so in this case, another speakers could have taken the conversation away from her at the point, the pause, but they choose not to, allowing her to comment on what she had. Okay, "I threw up. I saw the ring, and I threw up. That's not normal." Okay, Samantha said, "That's my reaction to marriage." Miranda said, "What do you think you might do if he asked?" Carrie said, "I don't know." Okay. Charlotte said, "Just say yes. Just say yes." This conversation, Charlotte's length vowel in "just say yes" emphasize the point that she is making before the Kelly replies with "well," followed by the pause, which allows her to hold the conversation. So, okay. Well, it hasn't been long enough, has it? Charlotte said, Trey and I got engaged after only a month. How long before you separated?" In this case, there is a double line. This double line indicate refers to that from the utterance they are turned up break by no break in their conversation. So Trey and I got engaged after a month. How long before you separated? We're together now. We're together now, and that's what matters. When it's right, you just know. Okay. Samantha said, "Carrie doesn't know." Carrie said, "Carrie threw up." Samantha said, "So it might not be right." Carrie threw up, so it might be right. So in this opportunity, in this time, in this case, this analysis showed that the Samantha adds her comment to the Charlotte's statement, without allowing uh, anyone else. The underlined the capital of the noun in Charlotte's response to the semantic indicates that both the stress, the stress or love talk. This analysis, overall, this analysis shows how Carrie and her friends um, engage their conversation in cooperative manner. They let each other continue with what they want to say rather than compete the place in the conversation. It also shows that the strategy they use may they want to take turn in the conversation, such as not letting too much time to lips before speaking. In this case, in case another speaker should take the turn. Alright, sequence and structure in conversation. A particular interest of the conversational says is the sequence and structure of the spoken discourse. So aspects of the conversational interaction that have been examined from this perspective include conversation of opening and closing. Okay. We talk about the opening conversation first. Okay. There is a conversation between recipient, and caller. Recipient said hello. Caller said hi, Ida. It this is what caller said. It refers to the summons of the answer sequence. The type of it is identification or recognition sequence. Recipient said yeah. Caller said hi, this is Carla. Hi Carla. From this caller said, it refers to the greeting sequence. The caller said, how are you? The caller said, how are you here? It is the type of the answer sequence of how are you sequence. Okay, good. What about you? How about you? Fine. Don wants to know. Caller said it refers to the reason for call sequence. Okay, we go to the closing conversation. In closing conversation, the first one we need to know about the pre-closing. The pre-closing is often made up from turn units consisting of the items such as okay and alright with falling intonation. The closing is made up of further limits such as bye-bye, bye-bye, and goodbye. In the form of the insertion sequence can be introduced between the two units which make up this turn before the closing finally takes place. So in conversation, in closing, it refers to it may be pursued by the number of the pre-sequences such as the making of arrangement, referring back, initiation, wishes, statement, and thanks for calling. Alright, this is the end. Back to go to the next speakers, Dora Yanti.
Well, everyone, my name is Dora Yanti. The next material is about turn taking. Conversation analysis has also examined how people take and manage turns in spoken interaction. The basic rule in English conversation is that one person speaks at a time, after which they may nominate another speaker or another speaker may take up the turn without being nominated. So there are a number of ways in which we can signal that we have come to the end of a turn. This may be through the completion of a syntactic unit, or it may be through the use of falling intonations and then pausing. We may also end a unit with a signal such as an or anyway and etc. So the end of a turn may also be signaled through eye contact, body positions, movement, and voice pitch by contrast. We may hold on a turn by not passing too long at the end of an utterance and starting straight away with saying something else. We may also hold on to turn by pausing during an utterance rather than at the end of it. We may increase the volume of what we are saying by extending a syllable or vowel. Or we may speak over someone else a time to take our turn. Let's move to the next topic. Adjacency pairs. An adjacency pairs is the unit of conversation that contains an exchange of one turn each by two speakers. The turns are functionally related to each other in such a fashion that the first turn requires a certain type or range of type of a second turn. Also, an adjacency pairs is a sequence of two related utterances by two different speakers. Whenever we make an utterance, we expect a certain answer. And the second utterance is a response to the first. For example, "Hi Patrick, how are you?" "Hi John, I'm good. And you?" In this example, "Hi Patrick, how are you?" would be the first part, and the word "Hi John, I'm good" and would be the second part. These called as adjacency pairs. Let's have a look at another example, but the second part does not fit the first part. For example, "Hi John, would you also like to have a cup of coffee?" "What a lovely day, don't you think?" Obviously, "what a lovely day, don't you think?" is not an expected answer. And the second part is not fit to the first part. Therefore, is not an adjacency pairs. The second explanation is about adjacency pairs across cultures. It is important to remember that the expected follow-up to everyday speech in one language and culture may be different in another language and culture. Ball's 1992 study of workplace communications problems between French and English speakers provides an example of this. French workers often respond to everyday greetings, such as "Did you have a good weekend?" by stopping and telling the English speaking workers about their weekend. But unlike English speaking workers who get irritated by this and do not realize that a French speakers would not ask these questions if they did not want a real and complete answer. Furthermore, they do not realize that these are not common questions asked by French speakers in everyday conversational situations. And although they sometimes answer by telling about their weekend, they also see the questions as an invasion of their privacy. Therefore, the expected follow through the use of proximity pairs varies across language and cultures. It means that French speakers always respond to the everyday greeting, but English speakers will be irritated by this question. Let's move to the next topic. It's about adjacency pairs and stage of the conversation. The particular context and stage of the conversation and especially important for assigning an utterance the status of a particular pair part. For example, the word hello can perform many different functions in a conversation. It can be a summons in a telephone call and it can be a response to a summon in a telephone call. It can be also a way of greeting someone in the street, although clearly not the only way. An utterance such as thanks equally can be a response to a compliment, a congratulations, or a response to an offer of service. An utterance thus may play more than one role in a conversation. Well, guys, let's continue to the next explanation. Is about preference organization. When a speaker produces a first paid part, they should stop talking and allow the other speaker to produce a second paid part. A compliment can be followed by an accept or a reject. Thus, some second pair parts may be preferred other and may be dispreferred. For example, a question may be followed by an expected answer or an unexpected or non-answer. When this happens, this preferred second pair parts is often preceded by a delay or preface and or an account. For instance, are you going out with anyone at the moment? Mm, well, kind of. There is someone I met a while back. Actually, I'm getting married at the end of the year. These the examples of unexpected answer. Let's move to the next topic. It's about insertion sequence. Sometimes speakers use an insertion sequence, that is where one adjacency pair counts between the first pair and the second pair parts of another adjacency pairs. For example, Mom, can I play Nintendo now? Have you cleaned up the playroom? No. Then no. Alright, let's continue to the next topic. It's about feedback. Another aspect of spoken interactions that has been examined by conversation analysis is the way speakers provide each other with feedback. That is, the ways in which a listener show they are attending to what is being said. This can be done by the use of response tokens such as and yeah, by paraphrasing what the other person has just said, or through body position and the use of eye contact. For example, the discussion interaction between the teacher and the students. I think that's all for our explanation today, and good afternoon.